Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I have with me the Melonare MA-1. It's a portable guitar amplifier with a wide range of features such as onboard effects, a built-in drum machine, Bluetooth connectivity, and a rechargeable battery, all at a competitive price. For the sake of transparency, Melonare did send this over to me for the purpose of making this video. However, as always, any opinions expressed are entirely my own. It comes with a USB cable for charging, the amplifier itself, and an instruction manual. As you'd expect, the amplifier is very lightweight and compact at only 6 inches wide and 4 inches tall. On the front, there are a number of controls which we'll get into more later, but there is a 1/4-inch jack for an instrument cable, a volume knob, which also serves as the power, a switch to go between clean and overdrive mode, a gain knob, a tone knob, and controls for the onboard effects and drum machine. On the back, there are 3 ports, including 2 3.5mm jacks, one for an auxiliary input, and one for a headphone out. And there's also the USB-C port, which is only for charging. I did go ahead and open it up because I was a little bit curious, and everything inside looks good. You have 2 speakers which are connected and have a nice bit of depth to them for added bass response. One thing I thought was funny about the speakers is that the amplifier itself has this tilted shape to it, so it looks like the speakers are pointing up towards you when it's sitting on a desk, but inside the speakers are actually just sitting perpendicular. So that's not really a big deal, but I just thought it was kind of funny. And I also did notice some other people mentioning that the speakers were tilted up, but that's not the case. Another thing I took a look at while I had it opened up was the lithium polymer battery. It's 7.2 volts and 2000 milliamp hours. And one thing that I liked is that it looks like it's pretty easy to replace. There's even a space where you could use a rectangular shaped battery instead. But that said, I do have to give a PSA that you should not go messing with lithium polymer batteries unless you are an expert with electrical engineering. And you should always make sure to dispose of them properly because you could literally set your neighborhood on fire if you don't. And before I forget to mention, the battery life is advertised as having 7 hours worth of playing and takes 3 hours to fully charge. It has the same familiar controls from any practice amp, such as your volume control, your gain knob, and your tone knob, which can attenuate the treble. As I mentioned before, there's a button that will switch between clean and overdrive modes. So let's go ahead and hear how it sounds with the clean mode, and then I will turn on the overdrive mode and we can hear how that sounds as well. You're probably wondering how loud it is in person, and it's definitely loud enough to practice with. Something that I thought was kind of funny is that on the box it says ready for stage, and I think this kind of goes without saying, but just for the sake of anybody who's new to guitars and amplifiers, there's definitely no way you can use this in a stage setting with like a whole band, or probably even solo. I think that this is great for if you're in a room by yourself practicing, especially if you're using the overdrive mode. It's way louder, but you're not probably going to be able to use this to perform in almost any situation, in my opinion. I don't think this is being advertised as something you would use on a stage, but I just thought I would mention that since it's on the box. Another interesting thing that I noticed was on the Amazon page, they had a picture of somebody plugging their bass guitar into this. So I was really curious how something so small would work for practicing with the bass guitar. So here's how that sounds. It's definitely much louder when you're on the overdrive setting. The clean setting is still audible, of course. You could practice with it as long as it's not too loud in your environment, but it's definitely still a little bit distorted even when you're playing clean. I mean, playing bass, especially the low bass notes on such small speakers, is a pretty big ask. Speakers this small are literally physically unable to produce notes that are below a certain frequency, but nevertheless, the bass did sound pretty good on this. So that's all of the basic settings that you would find on most amplifiers, but what makes this special is the final knob and button. These control the MA-1's special features such as reverb and the built-in drum machine. One thing I have to mention about the reverb is that while it sounds pretty good, I wasn't able to turn it off all the way. The best I was able to do was turn it all the way down. So I'm not sure if there's a control that I'm not aware of. I tried everything and there's nothing in the manual. But something to keep in mind, I don't know if you can turn the reverb off. The drum machine, I think, is a really cool and useful addition, especially since this is mostly a practice amplifier. There are 30 different drum beats available, and you can set the BPM by using the tap tempo button. And of course, you can also adjust the volume of the drum beat. I thought I'd mention that because I had a little trouble figuring that out at first, but rest assured, you can change how loud the drum beat is. I want to point out a missing feature that I actually really appreciate, and it's the fact that there's no app control for this. All of the features are completely available right out of the box without downloading anything for your phone or trying to connect. Not to go on a tangent, but apps are obviously great and offer a lot of extra features, but it's just nice when something just has all the controls available without any further complications. Now, despite there being no app control, there is still Bluetooth connectivity, and that is simply so that you can play music from your phone or computer or whatever through the Melonare MA-1. So you can use this as a portable Bluetooth speaker, and you can use that simultaneously while you're plugging your guitar in. So you could play the song that you want to practice through the Bluetooth speaker from your phone and then play along on your guitar. So with that, we've pretty much covered everything there is about the Melonare MA-1. If you'd like to learn more or purchase one, I have links in the description of this video. It's definitely a solid choice for a practice amp, and it's also a very versatile speaker in general since it has the analog and Bluetooth auxiliary inputs. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to learn more about other new and unique instruments and other music gear, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.